Achievement, satisfaction, and crave are all feelings that you gain through video games, and with that comes no actual outcome. Whereas in the real world, with a purpose, you gain all of those emotions whilst finding and reaching your main goal. And this is what I want to elaborate on in this video, and why it's so important that you need to quit or stop yourself from playing video games. I have taken some notes, and I've got some notes on the importance of quitting video games and how you can step away from that life and create your own video game. And I think that's the main reason in which you should stop playing video games and create a purpose in the real world, because most of the video games out there are designed or are made for you to level up in that world, and your brain feels like you are leveling yourself up, when in actual fact you are just leveling up in a game. So when you're playing video games, you're actually getting worse as you're playing it. And when you're leveling up in the real world, you are constantly gaining different attributes and different skills which you gain in video games, but you don't actually gain that. It's just a feeling that you gain from that. Yeah, the only way you can make yourself quit video games is by finding and unlocking a purpose in the real world. Maybe it's going to the gym, starting to go to the gym. It's so important, and it's the only way that you can stop yourself from playing video games, because you need to make your brain have a goal that you're trying to reach in the real world, whereas you don't have one which you have in the video game, but you're transferring it over. Because that's the ultimate reason why you're playing video games, is because you want to level up and have fun in the video game. So that's what we need to do in the real world, and that's what I did. I started going to the gym, and I just started to just get bored of the video game. I used to play FIFA. I used to play like Call of Duty, the Warzone, and I just started to not have the crave for it anymore, and I had more of a crave for the gym. And this is the only way that you can stop yourself from doing it. And if you struggle with that, I think the next best thing, or the next thing you can do, is by detoxing away from the video games or your phones. Having a week without technology is probably one of the most effective things after that you can do if you still struggle with it. I want to know what video games you guys play, so put it in the comments and say what you are trying to do in the video game. Like, what is your main goal, or what are you trying to level up in currently in your video game? Posture is fucked. Your wrists feel weird, your fingers are aching, you feel dirty, you're sweaty, you're eating crisps or awful snacks that you are getting all over your hands and on your device. Who relates to that? And who feels shame from that? This is why we need to step away from that life and find or create our own life through the real world, and understand that life in the video game, or the life we create for ourselves in the video game, is so destroying of our mental health, physical health, and life, social life, everything. So it will be a long process, but it will be a 100 times more effective or better life than you currently have, because you have the fun from the video game in the real life, and then you have everything on top of that. Whereas in the video game, all you have is the enjoyment you gain from the video game, and then you have everything else which you might not think in the moment, but is very is not good for you, like your mental health and the way you are living your life, the way you are sleeping, the way you are thinking, and your physical health. You are stuck in isolation and you haven't got the feeling of freedom when you have this urge to play video games. So you need to destroy that by having this detox away from media and away from the phones and technology that you surround yourself by. Freedom and purpose is the main thing that a man should be striving for in their life, and is so important for a man to be doing to gain satisfaction and pleasure. Would you rather have the feeling of killing someone in a video game, or would you rather have the feeling of the awesome feeling of approaching a girl and getting their number, or having your first kiss in the real world that you actually built towards? Which would you prefer? Because ultimately every man would rather have the second option. And if you pick the first option, then you are weak and you are stuck and lost. And this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to bring you back, because every man can bring themselves back from each position that they're stuck in currently. I played probably video games like some days like 8 hours a day. I used to play a thing called Weekend League, which took up like the whole of my life, and it was so addictive because you built the team up in the week and then you played games on the weekend to try and be the best on the leaderboard and try and get the best rewards. So there's easily a path back and easily a route up outside of video games. It's just starting and setting a goal and finding your purpose in the real world. Gym, social life, meditating for mental health, mindfulness, going for adventures, putting yourself into uncomfortable situations is the ultimate way that you can level up as a man easily. Seeking or wanting freedom in the video game is an act of a coward. And I was like this. Don't feel embarrassed or sad about this, because this is exactly what I felt and what I dealt with. And it's tough and it's annoying, but it's easy to find yourself in the real world. Depression is waiting for you if you constantly try to seek the dopamine or seek the crave in the video game, because ultimately it is extremely unhealthy and unrewarding for your brain, because you are deceiving your brain and you are destroying your health because you are having too much fun in the video game each day. Each time you have that enjoyment and satisfaction from the video game, your baseline drops, and the lowest your baseline can get to is depression. So each time you have that feeling, it drops down. So ultimately that feeling of loneliness and depression is only around the corner if you are stuck in the video game. But the opposite is waiting for you outside of the video game. If you do the hard work, and if you start setting goals and start making yourself more appealing and putting yourself out there into uncomfortable situations. Removing or destroying everything that will distract you, you'll need to do. So maybe selling or fucking breaking your video game, breaking your console or your PC or whatever it is that you use, just getting rid of it so that you can't get distracted or you can't have the feeling that you want to go back. Because ultimately, when you detox the dopamine, you'll struggle more to stay away from it, because you lose that crave and you lose that satisfaction that you got from the video games, and you're confused. Your brain is confused why you aren't feeling that way, because you felt that way for so long. So you need to get rid of every distraction that can make you fall back on your past. Each time you stop yourself from playing video games, or each time you put yourself into or go on an awesome adventure or put yourself into an uncomfortable situation, just imagine that it is a bicep curl and you are gaining progress in that, even though in the moment you might feel very nervous, or you might feel very confused or lost, or maybe like you feel annoyed with yourself for not doing better than you currently did. You're gaining progress from that, because feeling that you got that you can do better, you can use next time, and you have that in your brain that you can use. And comment your video game that you're addicted to, and comment what you are trying to level up, and destroy that. We'll destroy that for you, and we'll try to create a path that correlates with that in the video game. Yeah, so get rid of every distraction that you have, because this is the last thing that you need to do, and it's the last thing that is holding you back from having the best life you can have outside of the video game world. And your dream self, or your awesome self-image, is waiting for you if you quit video games. But if you continue to play, then you will just keep following that line of depression, and you will keep getting unhealthier, and ultimately you will lose the chance to find your future wife in the long term, or in the future. So start today by selling or destroying your console, or the thing that you use to play video games on. Good luck, everyone.